There were a flurry of executive orders and presidential memorandum about the different minority groups in the United States. There was a memorandum really reinforcing and reaffirming the sovereignty of tribal governments on tribal land. There was also an executive order really affirming and taking into account the rise of anti-Asian sentiment, especially since the start of this pandemic. But as you said, most of these executive orders were a direct answer to those mass protests that we saw over the summer of 2020 following the death of George Floyd. We heard Joe Biden in that soundbite mentioning George Floyd by name, and that's really the main focus of this day, really focused on racial equality. And among the elements that Joe Biden is working on, one of them had to do with addressing the discriminatory housing policies that have been in place under Donald Trump. Another one was addressing that problem in the United States of prisons, privately owned prisons. And so Joe Biden directed his Department of Justice to not renew any contracts with private-run prisons. So this is going to take some time, but it is very symbolic first step. And of course, there was that mention by Joe Biden that he was rescinding Donald Trump's 1776 commission, a commission that was set up by the former president to promote what he called patriotic education. Joe Biden called it counterfactual. He said that he was also rescinding Donald Trump's ban on his diversity and sensitivity trainings. And Joe Biden really focused on that. And he said, unity and healing must begin with understanding and truth, not ignorance and bias. It was one of the main promises of his campaign to address racial inequality. And today, with all those executive orders, he's showing that he's taking those first steps.